Eagle, proud symbol of our country, keep on flying high up above, and together we will stand and we'll restore the land. Oh, Eagle, keep on flying, Eagle.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Listen to the Eagle right here at the beautiful Mississippi Farm Bureau Federation Building in Jackson, Mississippi in the Reeves Metal Studio. What a great show we got for you. Ooh, radio and TV, alongside my co-host, Bert Carruth.
Hog hunting, Paul.
Oh, I tell you, Bert, the hogs, there's a song called Put the Vittles in the Wagon, Boy, the Hogs Are on the Ground. Know, we're going to keep on. We're going to make the University of Arkansas, man.
Well, is it H-O-G or H-A-W-G down here in
Well,
Mississippi?
I don't know. We're going to find out because we got the expert Bronson Strickland from Mississippi State on. And, Bronson, it's so good to have you on Listen to the Eagle Statewide Live tonight.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Bronson, before you get started to address the situation to our Listen to the Eagle audience, 2 weeks ago, Brad Young was in studio, and he and I were in here, and we just mentioned hog hunting, and, of course, the phones lit up, and it just went on with story after story about the hog population here in Mississippi and what they're doing to farms and fields, crops, hunting plots. It's just on, and it's just seems to just grow every week. You hear more and more stories of what the hogs are doing here in Mississippi. And we started telling stories about what we had seen on the internet about hunting hogs out of helicopters, hunting hogs in the back of trucks strapped in with seats. And we're actually going to have a group out of Texas from one of those videos is actually going to join us here later in the show, Craig Meier from Texas, that does the helicopter huntings. And we just kind of mentioned, could that be done in Mississippi?
It can in certain places. So the two places right now in Mississippi where we call it aerial gunning, where aerial gunning can be successful is, of course, in the Delta region, and that's going to be done at the time of year, wintertime, when the leaves are off the trees. But you know, that landscape is dominated by crop fields, and then you have those few areas of bottomland hardwoods and WRP places and things like that. So it's really a good landscape where, kind of like Texas, where you can get your helicopter up in the air and have a good chance of moving hogs and seeing them and getting close enough to get, you know, good lethal shots. The other region is on the coast and the marshes, and so that's even a better place. There's really nowhere for them to hide down there. But unfortunately, the other, 60 to 70% of the state is dominated by forest. And so it's really difficult, and then especially with this pine forest. Notice, how much of Mississippi has pine forest. So there's never a time of the year in those forests where you can really get a good sighting of where the pigs are at, and the helicopter can work them out into an opening. So it is certainly a technique. It is a technique that is being implemented in Mississippi and has been for the past couple of years with great success. The problem is our landscape, unlike Texas and Oklahoma, Kansas, and some of those places, because of the trees, we just don't have a landscape that's conducive to really implementing that type of program statewide.
So what is our best bet, the trapping, Bronson?
Without a doubt, trapping is the most efficient and cost-effective method. Absolutely.
Bronson, one other thing, talking about the issue, someone actually stopped me about a week ago and said that he actually heard through the grapevine that this actual, I forget the legal terminology, but basically the poison pill is getting closer to being legal. Can you kind of talk a little bit about that?
Well, there's two forms right now. The one that has been all through social media, in the last month or two, is a new toxicant it's called Kaput, K-A-P-U-T. And looks like it's going to be legalized in some states. Not sure if it will be in Mississippi. Now, the difference with this is that it is a warfarin-based bait. Now, what that means is warfarin is a blood thinner. Warfarin is a toxicant commonly used for mice and rats. And it's a really safe toxicant because it requires multiple doses. So a mouse, a rat, comes back to the feed 2, 3, 5 times, and then over time it gets enough of a lethal dose such that it would bleed to death internally. The other toxicant that's being worked on right now for the past, close to a decade is called sodium nitrite, which appears to have a lot more promise because it's a lot more lethal. In other words, with that bait, they're working to have a single dose. So a pig gets a single dose of this bait, and then it would be lethal. So those are the two toxicants right now. Neither of them are legal in Mississippi as we speak, but a year or two down the road, one or both of them could be.
Is that going to be a deal where the state of Mississippi will kind of wait and do its research and watch other states take this approach and see how it goes?
I think that would be the smart thing to do because there's so many concerns, of course, with number one, how effective is it going to be? We want to protect the landowner too, who's buying this toxicant and putting it out on the landscape.
Sure.
Is it going to be effective, cost-wise? Then we have to look at non-targets. So you've got a lot of places in Mississippi where if you have a bait that would attract a hog, it's going to attract a lot of other critters as well. Now, most notably, what is sensitive in Mississippi is the black bear. So, both of those toxicants would come with an understanding, an actual a legal requirement that it's paired with a delivery device, a delivery system that most animals can't access. So, in other words, it would be a type of trough with a cover on the top of it that is spring-loaded and very difficult for a raccoon or a deer or anything like that to open it. But the one animal that can access anything that a wild hog can access is a black bear.
Yeah, and that's very dangerous. And we get a lot of black bears in Mississippi now, too.
Yeah, absolutely, more and more every year. So those are the types of considerations we have to make is when you put something, a poison or a toxin out on the landscape, number one, we want it to affect the species that it's targeted for, and we don't want a lot of collateral damage for the species that we want to protect.
Yeah. So 1-800-251-5891. Y'all give us a call.
Talking hogs.
We'll be right back. Yeah.
Legendary entertainer Paul Ott brings you his greatest hits. Get them all in this special CD-DVD combo set, including Old Blue,
Many and a many of an early morn.
I Am Mississippi,
I am everything good you have ever dreamed about.
Right Arm of America, and many more. To order, visit listentotheeagle.com or send $20 check or money order to Paul Ott's Greatest Hits, Box 219, Summit, Mississippi 39666.
Welcome back. Listen to the Eagle, your live call-in radio show, hunting, fishing, God, family, and country. Bert Caruth alongside Paul Ott right here in the Reed's Metal Studio.
The toll-free number is
1-800-251-5891. That's 1-800-251-5891 or pound 444 if you C-Spire. Customer Inspired will get you in here. You can always email the show, Paul Ott at Listen to the Eagle. Paul Ott, real quick about our main sponsor here, Reed's Metal Studio. Stop by Brookhaven the other day to visit with Bernie.
Did you visit?
He was not there, but I want to tell you something. Not only do they do a wonderful job with metal roofs and all your metal buildings, but if you ever go by their corporate office in Brookhaven, Mississippi, down in the Scenic Rivers region, not only is it beautiful, but he's got the friendliest staff, and it's just so welcoming. I invite everybody visit your local Reed's Metal company.
I guarantee you. Well, Bronson, let's talk about what's been done, what's being done, and what you see in the future as far as y'all's research up at Mississippi State.
Yeah, you bet. So what we've done the past decade or so is we're trying to develop, we have developed research programs, extension and outreach programs that have been disseminated all throughout Mississippi as well as the Southeast. And the target of that is we want to reach landowners. We want to reach people that are being affected by wild hogs and those that suspect they might be in the future. And basically, we want to give them information, the best information on what to do and how to do it to effectively control hogs. And through our time of doing that, we started meeting more people and started developing some more research questions. And so our outreach and interaction with the public and people that are being affected, Paul, like you on your property, we're starting to learn more about what types of damage are being caused, and that led to a general survey, an economic survey that we just wrapped up. And
Bronson, can I stop you there? Can you tell us about that survey? Is it as bad as everybody seems to think that it is across the state.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And our research results are very similar to others across the region, including Louisiana, Alabama, and Georgia. And our results show that somewhere between, on an annual basis, somewhere between $60 and $70 million is the cost, is the price tag for hog damage. And, you know, it's all the usual suspects in terms of damage. It's damage to a particular crop. The loss in yield, you know, that's being damaged, as well as infrastructure. So, Paul, what you were telling me earlier, we've been hearing that all across the state where a pasture is being damaged. And because of that damage to the pasture, machinery, farm equipment's being damaged.
But, Paul, that is staggering. $70 million worth of destruction because of hogs. So, Bronson, like a isolated area, and let's talk about just Paul Ott's farm, since that's the knowledge that I have. So for 5 years, no hogs, no problem, no destruction, and within 12 months, it is absolutely run over with them, and they're tearing everything up. How does that happen?
But Bronson, they're not there now. They've gone. They've left. Why come them left? They may come back, huh?
They may come back. So there's two responses to that. Number one, they left because of food. So think about the annual cycle for a hog or for a deer or turkey or anything else. Food availability changes throughout the year. So they either responded to a food source or they responded to harassment. That's the two things that push them around. Changes in food, changes in pressure.
So you're telling me the food is not there for them this time of year?
Not as much, but it's about to be. So right now we're in spring green up, and then of course, depending on where you're at in Mississippi, corn is either going in the ground or corn is already in the ground. And so, yeah, you can see hog groups, sounders, and populations shifting their movements to take advantage of agricultural resources.
Something just hit me. I want to go back to something you said earlier. So that $70 million figure of destruction across the state of Mississippi, did that also have in that number precaution or prep money spent for farmers or landowners to keep hogs out?
We had a variable for that we called control.
Yeah.
So yes.
Okay.
So if you were paying personnel to specifically ride around, harass, trap, whatever,
okay,
yeah, we took that into account as well.
Wow.
Good question.
So that $70 million is a loss. Is that a loss to the state or the farmers, or both?
Well, indirectly both. I mean, directly, yeah, it is the loss to the landowner.
Right.
So it's money coming out of their pockets. So it's either their crop was destroyed, or their tractor was damaged, or the levee that's holding the water in their rice field was destroyed. And so, yeah, that's coming out of their pocket to have to fix it. Absolutely.
Well, it beats all I've ever seen because I have nothing planted. I have no food source for anything there. I got a 15-acre lake. Thank goodness they ain't got close to that, but that's just sort of out there in the pasture. They really did. They damaged about 8 acres. It looks like I'm going to have to bring something in there and smooth it off before we can go in there and bush hog it. But like I told you, I can't get anybody to make hay in there now, Bronson.
Yeah, and that's the difference between I've got somebody that works with me in Extension that works on the soybean side, and this producer had a classic quote. It was, "I wish I still just had a deer problem."
Mm.
So
Yeah.
he has the hog problem now, and that deer problem was nothing. I can deal with a little bit of deer damage, and the reason for that is something like a deer is only browsing or consuming the grain, the above ground, whereas the hog is going to destroy the crop above ground as well as root and create, holes and wallows, in the ground. And
Yeah.
of course, that's not conducive for equipment to go over it.
Well, and also correct me if I'm wrong or educate me, the reproduction of the hogs is I'm sure accelerated versus the deer population.
Yeah, so now you've got a large mammal, number one, that's not from North America. So it's an exotic species that's here. And the reason I bring that up is everything that's going into that animal's mouth is not going into our native wildlife's mouth. So consider that economic number, $60 to $70 million. That does not include the damage that's going to our natural resources. So we got to always keep that in mind. What are the impacts to our deer, our turkey, our bobwhites, and animals like that?
Well, Bronson, we're coming up on another break, and we're going to join the folks in Texas, and I'd like you to stay on with us and see what they're doing because it looks like Texas is the place, and it's really interesting what they're doing with the helicopters over there and the research they're doing. I'm sure y'all do work with other states like Texas, too. The toll-free number here, if you want to call in about your hog problem, and I'm assuming you have one if you've got land, is 1-800-251-5891, or pound 444 if you're a C Spire customer inspired. We're right here in the Reed's Metal Studio.
Paul Ott's The Day of the Lord CD DVD combo set is our free gift to you and your family. The Day of the Lord includes songs like I Am That I Am, Don't Cry for Me, and They Could Not Stop His Love, as well as special sermons by Tom Lester, Dr. Larry LeBlanc, and others. Paul's special holy visits and the printed Don't Cry for Me poster are also included. Get yours by calling 1-800-684-9486 or by letter to New Day of the Lord Ministries Foundation, Box 219, Summit, Mississippi 39666.
Welcome back to Listen to Eagle, right here in Reed's Metal Studio in the Mississippi Farm Bureau Federation building. We're going to run out to Texas and talk to Craig, but we're also going to keep Bronson Strickland with Mississippi State on, who's been talking to us about Mississippi and what they're doing about the hog thing. So, Bert, looks like a HeliHunter out there.
Hey, Craig, we appreciate you being on Listen to the Eagle. We saw some video that you had online of some things y'all are doing out there in Texas. It looked unbelievable and awesome, and want to thank you for being on with us. We've got a hog problem in Mississippi, and we want you to kind of share what y'all been doing, looks like having fun, but also share with us, are you actually taking care of the problem in Texas?
I'm a landowner myself. Bought my place back in 2000, and I fought the pigs for years, and there was a state program through the state of Texas where they would subsidize it. We could hire them to come and fly the helicopters. Really is where I saw how effective the helicopters could be. The problem was with what they were doing was they weren't hitting it enough. They would come in and fly 1 or 2 days a year in our area and, kill 100 or 200 hogs, and we were ecstatic about that, but it wasn't putting enough of a dent in the population. As y'all probably know, you have to kill 7 or 8 out of 10 just to maintain the population. So we kind of took what they were doing, and I got a bunch of my neighbors together back then for somebody to hire us, for us to take them up. I actually did a lot of the gunning myself, and we used our employees to do the shooting. And we just, the farmers would pay us so many dollars an acre, and we just flew till we ran out of money. And we really saw how effective the aerial program can be.
Wow. So y'all actually took it upon yourself to help this, and then it became a business where actual farm or landowners would hire you to fly up in helicopters and help maintain or to get rid of hogs.
Yeah, absolutely. And we did that for a couple of years. In 2011, Texas passed what they called the pork chopper bill, believe it or not. And that's what allowed people to come and pay us to enjoy the experience of shooting something out of a helicopter. We have millions of pigs running around in Texas, and people want to. We basically took the financial responsibility off the landowner, placed it on the shoulders of the willing, which are sportsmen that want to enjoy the experience, and it's a win-win situation for everybody. Once we started doing that, we could do more flying. We could sign people's land up for free. The gunners come in, they're happy, we're happy, the landowners are happy. It's been really effective. We killed nearly 4,700 pigs in 8 weeks this last season. And it makes a significant difference. Now, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you we're going to get rid of them. We're not. I compare it to like a sponge. If you squeeze a sponge, all the water out of a sponge, and you lay it back on the surface of the water, it's going to soak back up again. And the same way with the pig. But we only fly about 8 weeks out of the year with our program.
Is that an assault rifle there you're shooting, Craig?
No, sir. We're one of the only companies that primarily uses shotguns. Well, solely uses shotguns, I'll say. We use a TAC-12A1, which is a gun we helped develop over the course of 3 years. It's made in Mountain Air, New Mexico by Firebird Precision, and it's a conversion of the MKA 1919. So it is an AR style 12-gauge detachable magazine.
Craig, kind of to help me understand, so say Paul Ott and I came out there and we wanted to go up, what kind of expense are we looking at as shooters or hunters in your operation?
You know, it's for a full day hunt with our company, it's $15,000 a day, and that's 6 to 8 people. So you're looking at about $200 to $2,500 a person. We leave. The reason we do a full day is sometimes we might cover 40, 50, 60 miles.
Right.
And so we load up everybody in the chase trucks. You know, we're all on the radios, and we take off after hogs and don't come back till that evening. And we just stop about every hour, more shells, more fuel, change out the shooters, and go again. Yeah, the best way to do it is go to HeliHunter.com, and you can shoot us an email. There's a phone number on there, and just get a hold of us. I will say don't wait. It's a very popular thing to do. I think we have 2 days left for 2018. A lot of our people that come fly with us, they come back.
So
we're out there to eradicate pigs, but it is a good time.
So talk to me a little bit about the hogs that actually get harvested. Do we come back and get these? How does that work? What do y'all do with the actual hogs that are taken from the hunt?
Well, if the shooters want them, they can take all they want, but generally they'll shoot a lot more than they can eat. We do try to pick them up. Now, if we have wet weather, I'm not going to tear a guy's wheat field up worse than the pigs were trying to get them.
Yeah.
But if we shoot them in a place where we have an opportunity to pick them up, I do have people on my staff that pick them up. We field dress them. We freeze them. There's a company called Hogs for a Cause, or organization, I should say, that's a Christian organization. They donate their time, and they actually are the ones that process and distribute the meat. So we say we're killing pigs for Jesus.
Craig, that's awesome. We'll be right back with more of Listen to the Eagle. 1-800-251-5891. That's 1-800-251-5891. We'll be right back.
Legendary entertainer Paul Ott brings you his greatest hits. Get them all in this special CD-DVD combo set, including Old Blue,
Many and a many of an early morn.
I Am Mississippi,
I am everything good you have ever dreamed about.
Right Arm of America, and many more. To order, visit listentotheeagle.com or send $20 check or money order to Paul Ott's Greatest Hits, Box 219, Summit, Mississippi 39666.
Welcome back. Listen to the Eagle. Hunting, fishing, God, family, and country. That's what we talk about every night right here on Listen to the Eagle. Got a great show tonight, Paul, talking about the hog problem across the state of Mississippi. We got Bronson Strickland from Mississippi State University that's been educating us and our listeners. But we also have Craig Meier, who is with HeliHunter. I can't even say it. HeliHunter.com, which is a private business over in the state of Texas that just absolutely, you see in the video that looks like a ton of fun. And if you want to be a part of that, go to his website. They're booking hunts as we speak for 2018. I want to switch gears and go to Bronson again. Bronson, we talked at the first of the show that it actually is going on, aerial hunting here in the state of Mississippi. Is that private companies doing like what Craig's doing in Texas, or is it government?
It's government right now.
Oh.
So the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Wildlife Services, they've been aerial gunning in both the Delta and in the on the coast in the marshland for the past couple of years. I don't know right now if there is an enterprise in Mississippi, a private enterprise, that would do that. But as Craig mentioned, about the landscape and so forth, in Mississippi, it's just going to be difficult to do that statewide because of our forest over here. But in our ag regions and on the coast, it can be done very much in the same way it's done in Texas.
Do we have an 82-county problem, Bronson? Is it in all 82 counties?
I would say it's an 80-county problem. There's probably one or two that go in and out, but yeah, probably right now between 75 and 80 of the counties have a pig walking around somewhere.
How fast are those pigs running? Man, they look like they move as fast as a helicopter.
I was going to say they're running as fast as they can. That's what a lot of people say to you.
That guy's shooting a bow and arrow.
They can't run faster than that helicopter, though.
Craig, I can't thank you enough for being a part of Listen to the Eagle and sharing this. If you don't mind, one last time, tell everybody the website, where to go if they want more information, and maybe even come get to do a hunt with you guys.
You bet, man. And thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it, and good luck with it, man. Like I said, I'm a landowner, and that's how I got started in this. I full well see the damage that pigs do, especially flying in the air every year. You wouldn't believe the devastation. I guess you would, but just keep fighting them, man. And I'm with HeliHunter. You can reach us at HeliHunter.com. And thank y'all for having me on. Good luck, boys.
Man, thank you so much. Appreciate it. It looks fun. Bronson, we want to thank you for being a part of Listen to the Eagle Night and really helping us and educating us about what all that the state has done and is going to continue to do about the hog program. And again, thank you for everything that y'all do.
Happy to be here and glad to help.
Paulette, I've had fun tonight. Great show. I really got educated. But if you don't remember anything else about this show, please remember this. If you do things your way, you will get your results. Some good, some bad. If you'll stop and pray, you'll get his results.